we're in the middle of the desert. Where we're walking to is where my brother was walking through when they said he got left behind. I'm trying to see if it's my brother. If it's my brother, we're trying to take him home. Cremate him, make him an altar at the house. Hopefully it's not him though. Need to know where my brother's at. You don't just leave family behind.
Right now, having a missing person on the border, you could wait years before finding out what really happened. Some folks might never find out. Without having those answers, I think people are really kind of frozen in time. They don't know if their missing loved one is alive or dead. It's like living in a nightmare that never ends until you get the answers that you need.
This individual is female, probably about 20 to 40 years of age. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to find any missing persons that match this case yet. It's not lost on me that this individual could have been a mother at this point, and she most definitely was someone's child. She could have been a sister. However, we have to separate kind of the emotional component of that from the science so that we can do our job.
So this is going to be case 17-1568, John Doe. What you got?
Blue jeans.
Okay.
Black belt.
Okay.
One gray handkerchief.
Okay.
Yeah, these phones are pretty dead.
So he has the ring, right? That says Danny and Karen. That's good. This will make 130 cases that we currently have here that are unidentified, that remain unidentified here at Pima County. Well, it's not a secret that the more that the border has been militarized for whatever reason, it seems to push folks out into more remote regions of the desert.
This part of the desert is probably the longest stretch of anywhere on the U.S. Mexico border where you won't pass a paved road. This is the west side of Oregon Pipe, and we're going to do a grid search hiking through these hills, which is maybe 3 or 4 miles in from the road. It's an area where there's been a lot of deaths. A lot of people travel through here. Okay, let's start walking. See how this goes.
Walking!
I'm gonna start angling us down a little, I think, then.
Bumping left. Yeah, go ahead.
I've found a bone.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it could be deer.
It could be deer, yeah. Well, right now it's relatively cool. It's probably 105 degrees. At this point, people would probably be maybe 1 to 2 days walking from the border, and they probably have another 5 to 7 days or something. You need more than a gallon of water per day, probably closer to 2 gallons. You really couldn't carry it, so people are dependent on finding water. Definitely not a guarantee, hence the danger.
It's like one of the worst ways to die. I mean, if the people want to cross over and go through this, it's because they really want to live a better life. My brother was born in Cananea, Sonora, and he was taken to Phoenix when he was 9 months old. And then he got deported last year. It's like going somewhere where you haven't been since you're a baby and everything's really different. He just didn't want to be in Mexico anymore. I mean, no one endures the heat and all the animals and everything going on in the desert just because. They do it because they want to be with their family. They want to have a better life. Everyone says, oh, they take the easy way. They think this is the easy way.
We also have a second visual of another body on camera.
A piece of technology spotted 2 people carrying water jugs, wearing camouflage clothing. So we're gonna go make contact with them, One I 118. ¿Estás tosiendo mucho? ¿Qué te pasa?
No sé.
¿Es alergias?
No, no.
¿Te sientes bien? ¿Te sientes mal? Te voy a traer agua helada, sobres. There is no difference between who needs medical care, whether it's a smuggler, whether it's a man, woman, or child. We're law enforcement, but we never forget that humane treatment and preservation of life comes first.
Llevo 10 días. He encontrado alrededor de 10 cadáveres, ya de personas que han muerto. Los países hermanos centroamericanos y todos vienen huyendo de sus países para buscar un mejor sueño aquí en Norteamérica, pero exactamente lo que se encuentran con la muerte aquí en el desierto. No pude lograr mi objetivo, que era quedarme en este país, pero por lo menos no voy a salvar de no morir.
Having folks continually die and knowing that it's going to continue to happen is frustrating in the sense that you wish there was a way that policies could change on both sides of the border.
Oh, sorry.
What's going on, T?
I have another case.
Okay.
Way, very, very far out.
Another border crosser?
Yeah.
Okay.
For me, today is my second case. I've had one earlier today. It's going to be my second case. A rancher found the remains of a suspected undocumented border crosser.
By expanding a wall that already exists, what you're ensuring is that marginalized people are going to be put in harm's way, and more of them are going to die in the desert. There's a lot that would prevent migrant deaths, and perhaps where we have to begin in this current political context is seeing migrants as full human beings. And nobody's going to care about migrant deaths as long as people don't think of migrants as people.
It's killing us. The not knowing is the worst part. Not knowing if he's alive or if he's dead, that's the worst part. Yeah. This is where someone died. He took off his shoes, he took off his clothes, and probably just laid down and was like, this is where I'm gonna die. So sad. I just want to find my brother. That's all I want. The day that we went out into the desert, we weren't successful. We weren't able to find my brother's body. But later on, there was a body that was recovered. They did some DNA testing, and the results came back positive that it was my brother. He's in a box. Like, we didn't want him in a box. We wanted him home. We wanted him alive. But he's here now.
Ay, hermano, conmigo.
My brother's staying with my mom for now. Later on, I will take his remains to Phoenix because that's where he wanted to be. But right now, it's very hard on my mom, and I'm not gonna make that harder on her. My brother always found the positive in the negative. I guess it would have been worse if we never found him, not knowing what was gonna happen, not knowing where he was at, not knowing if he was alive.
Dale, Señor, el descanso eterno. Descanse en paz. Su alma.
We wanted him alive, but at least we got to bring him home. A lot of people don't get to do that.